Morning, everybody. How are y'all doing today? I'm doing great because, dude, genuinely, for all the flaws of Crimson Desert, I've been having a blast with it. And whether you like the game or not, you can't deny the developers have been very hard at work and have been listening to feedback. There's already been multiple updates that have come out addressing player complaints, and honestly, it's great to see. Obviously, there's some fundamental issues that will never be fixed, like, the story is basically non-existent trash, but I can appreciate a genuine effort to make the game better and listening to feedback. Anyway, as great of a time as I've been having with Crimson Desert, a lot of people have not. But I think a lot of the people who haven't enjoyed the game haven't enjoyed it for, a legitimate reason. It's too slow at the beginning and it doesn't capture their interest and they don't want to stick around for it. Like I said before, the main story is basically non-existent and not engaging, which, a lot of people want a good story in a game. There's plenty of very legitimate reasons why people wouldn't like Crimson Desert. However, there's always gonna be those ridiculous complaints that ultimately boil down to a good old-fashioned skill issue. And of course, in this case, as you could probably guess, I mean, you read the title and thumbnail, I'm assuming, I am referring to DSP. I swear to God, I've gotten comments saying I'm basically a detractor channel at this point, and it's starting to feel like it. I promise this will be my last DSP video for at least the next day, or until the next popular game comes out and he sucks at it. But yeah, I know I already did a video on DSP playing Crimson Desert, but I wanted to dedicate this video specifically to the crash out he had over this one particular boss. Keep in mind, this is a pretty early boss in the game, and I actually thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thought, it was kind of difficult, but not insanely. And by the way, yes, I did beat it before the patch went up that nerfed all the boss fights. So yeah, we're gonna take a look at his crash out over this not very difficult boss, I would say. But, anything that requires mechanical skill is difficult for DSP, so there's that. Also, as usual, please go and sub to the original channel that uploaded this. Link is in the description. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and get right into this.
Good attack. Goes completely the wrong way. Good attack. Goes completely the wrong way. I literally don't control the direction I attack. The game just attacks whatever direction it wants because there's no lock-on.
So what's funny about this game is one of the biggest comparisons people make is Breath of the Wild, and that's a very valid comparison to make. And one of the ways Crimson Desert is similar to Breath of the Wild is because there's like the soft lock-on when you're in a fight, but to actually fully lock onto an enemy, you have to hold L1, which you can see he presses L1 multiple times and the character briefly locks on, but then he lets go and it unlocks. And if you're not locked on, the character is gonna attack in whichever direction you're pushing the stick. So the ultimate irony is the game is actually attacking exactly in the direction he's telling it to. He just doesn't realize it. Maybe it's a bit weird to get used to, but the fact that he's at this point in the game and he still doesn't realize that that's how the lock-on works is kind of wild.
You hit me anyway. And then, look at that, I can't move. You just get locked in place, you can't do anything. You get hit for multiple hits because the fucking game engine's terrible.
I know I covered this clip in my last video on DSP, but I feel like I just had to bring it up again. I love that he tries to sound smart and technical saying, oh, well, the game engine sucks, that's why it hit me. No, it hit you because you didn't dodge. And it's not like it's a glitch where the attack is only supposed to hit you once and then let you go. That attack is meant to hit you multiple times. That is not a bug. And Phil, if you don't want to get hit multiple times and take damage, then why don't you just dodge the attack? And I'm not gonna lie, the damage you're doing seems pretty low, especially if you're gonna be getting hit this many times. Maybe you should consider backing off for now. Go upgrade your weapons and armor. Invest some more skill points into your skill tree so you can unlock new abilities and stuff. I don't know, do something.
He hits you no matter what. He literally hits you no matter what. I don't fucking want to play this anymore. I think I actually hate the game. Like, this is the core mechanic of the game is this combat. The combat is fucking atrociously bad. I don't want to play anymore.
Now, is the combat bad, or are you bad at the combat? Unfortunately, I didn't record my attempts fighting this boss, but that burrowing attack is really not that hard to dodge. You just run, and then when he starts getting close to you, just dodge spam. Also, I think there's an argument to be made here about maybe being proactive and adjusting the camera angle while you're fighting the boss. Like, if you're not gonna lock onto him, you should at least be adjusting the camera angle so you don't have these weird views where you can't really see much. But then again, Phil strikes me as the kind of guy who has to sit down to chew his gum, so I don't know.
if you hit once, if literally you hit him once, he just attacks you and you can't get out of the way. So the moment you've committed to one attack, he's going to hit you and do damage back because you can't dodge out of the way.
A, yes, you absolutely can dodge out of the way, and B, maybe try attacking closer to when he finishes his attack so you have a longer window to recover. Another idea, and this is what I found to be especially effective, the boss really can't do much if you're behind it, so bait out an attack, get behind him, and then hit him a couple times, and then back off. And if dodging isn't working, then why don't you try blocking? Which, funny enough, remember how earlier I said the lock-on is L1? That also automatically makes you block. So as long as you're locked onto the boss and not attacking or anything, you'll also be blocking. So if you do mess up the dodge, yeah, you'll take some damage, but it'll be less than if you just weren't doing anything.
You can't dodge. There's no way to get out of the way. You can't dodge. If you press the dodge button, it doesn't work and he hits you anyway. And if you try to block, it just takes all your stamina.
I mean, that's funny, because the dodge button has worked just fine for me. Isn't it kind of funny how every game that Phil plays, it just doesn't work for him, but it seems to function just fine for everybody else? Maybe he's just really unlucky. Maybe he's being sabotaged by the devs. You know what Phil should unironically add to his streaming setup? He should add one of those, not controller cams, but one of those things that, like, shows the layout of the controller and shows when he's pressing the buttons and whatnot. Because I'm fairly certain he's just not pressing the button in time. Like, sometimes, yeah, the boss will stun lock you and it'll be hard to dodge, but I had nowhere near this much trouble. And given Phil's history with games, it's hard for me to give him the benefit of the doubt. Not to mention as well, on that first attack, he straight up just walked into the boss. I can't believe the boss would hit him. This is so sad.
There is no lock on. Jason Peters says the camera should be positioned behind the player model when locked on. There is no lock on. This is doing it by itself. I'm not locking on, and it randomly loses the angle. You'll go to attack, you attack the wrong direction for no reason. The game is just terrible.
But Phil, there is a lock-on. It's not the conventional lock-on you would see in like a Souls game, for example, but it does exist. And I looked it up just to be sure. DSP did in fact play Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, as expected, he sucked at them. But like I said before, the lock-on mechanic in this game is basically identical to those games. Not only that, but at this point, he's been playing for about 4 or 5 hours. There is no way that in that amount of time, you don't accidentally realize how the lock-on works in this game. Like, it's pretty basic. Then again, I mean, he can't really figure anything out unless chat is telling him exactly what to do. So I guess if nobody was explicitly telling him to press L1 in chat, then yeah, he's just out of luck. I wonder, if Phil bought a yellow controller, would he suddenly understand how to use all the controls?
There is no leveling. Someone said level up and come back. The game has no leveling. It's not an RPG. There's no leveling system.
Dude, it's just like with the lock-on mechanic. If it's not the way he's expecting it to be, then it just doesn't exist, apparently. There is absolutely a leveling up mechanic in this game. But again, it's not like in a Souls game, for example, where you level a stat and then your overall level goes up. There's a very expansive skill tree in this game. Not to mention, you can level up your weapons and armor at the blacksmith. If the boss is taking so much of your health with each hit, then maybe try upgrading your defenses. Get more health, get better armor. If you're barely doing any damage, get a better weapon, upgrade your current weapon. Phil, genuine question, how do you think the, like, getting more powerful mechanic works in this game if you think there's no leveling? Do you think you could just take on any challenge at any point and you're just going to be the same power level no matter what? Because I'm here to tell you right now, that is absolutely not the case. Alright, brace yourselves for these next 2 clips because we're about to see a level of irony that nobody should be exposed to.
I mean, to be honest, I think I'm done. I don't think I want to play anymore. You guys don't like it. It's apparent. You guys have been bored all day. I've been playing it now for almost 5 hours. I got high views, literally no support. Everyone's bored to tears of the game, saying the game is boring as shit. The combat is atrociously bad.
So you might be thinking, okay, well, where's the irony? He's just complaining about not getting enough financial support. That's just typical DSP behavior. Now, watch this next clip and you'll see what I mean.
The game is awful. I mean, I can't believe how fucking bad this is. What moron made it and like, oh, this is a fun fight. You're a fucking dunce. Never make a game again. Go flip burgers. Do the world a favor.
The middle-aged man sitting on stream begging for money to be bad at video games is gonna tell the game developers to go flip burgers. Okay, buddy. Let's make something very clear as well, Phil. Flipping burgers is infinitely more respectable than what you do. And then, of course, sprinkle in a little extra irony of him calling the game devs dunces when this guy can't figure out a basic lock-on mechanic, or that he should maybe leave the fight, get stronger, and then come back later. But yeah, the devs are the dunces, right? Just a reminder, this is the same guy who just did not shoot a zombie in Resident Evil Requiem, and then when he got hit by it, said there was nothing he could do, even though it was in his crosshair for a good second or two.
Nice attack. But I'm trying to capitalize on him. He actually took 75% of my health. Dude, this is just awful garbage.
Again, I have to reiterate, if a boss is taking 75% of your health in a single attack, maybe that's a sign that your gear is a bit underleveled and you should come back. There are these little things in games that are called skill checks, Phil. I'm sure you've heard of them. They're designed as an intentional roadblock in a game to see if you're leveled enough or if you're good enough to keep going. I think a classic example I can point to is Margit in Elden Ring. You reach him fairly early on, but chances are when you do reach him, you won't be leveled up enough or you won't be good enough at the game yet to take him on. This is especially the case in open world games like Elden Ring and Crimson Desert, where there's a lot of side content to do. Perhaps take this as an opportunity to go check out some side content. I mean, if you skip all the side content in a game like Crimson Desert and only do the main story, you're basically only playing like 5% of the game. You'll notice in the footage here where I'm fighting this boss, I'm actually able to beat him first try. You know why? Because I did enough side content beforehand to the point where I'm properly leveled to fight him. Also, I know how to dodge and lock on, but who knows, maybe I'm just a pro gamer.
What am I playing this for? No, really. What am I playing this for? I don't have to play this. The game is awful.
Guys, you were here. We officially witnessed Phil grow a brain cell on stream and realize that if he doesn't like a game, he doesn't have to play it. Or, as we in the industry like to call it, a rage quit. Although, let's be real, he's only quitting because, like he said, he wasn't getting much money. You already know if people were paying him a lot of money, he would have just tried to muscle through it. So I guess you go, Phil, get that bag, and put the fries in them.
Fuck this game. I got a $3 tip. This person says, you might be too low level. It doesn't look like you unlocked the parry or the count ability, much less the high level one. How much side story have you done? We played for 4 hours. I did all story for 4 hours. And I said, okay, I'll do a side quest. Yeah, the game is, dude, that is just not fun.
Wow, Phil, no wonder you're struggling so much. You're just brute forcing the story and not doing any side content? Of course you're gonna have trouble with the first boss fight. Phil, you're not speed running the game. Take your time, do side stuff, explore the world. And if something's too hard, leave and come back later after you've done more exploration. This is not rocket science. Or at least it isn't to any normal person. This is Phil we're talking about, so what am I expecting? You know what, my bad, I set my expectations too high. But yeah, anyway, guys, with all that being said, that is all I've got for this video. The rest of the video is just him ranting and whatnot. It's not really that interesting. But again, if you do want to see the rest of it, be sure to go check out the channel in the description and subscribe to them. And real quick before I go, let me know your thoughts on Crimson Desert. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Are you like Phil where you hate it? Or do you not care and you're just here for the laughs? Because that's also very valid. Either way, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more. Join us every Friday night on the gaming channel for gaming streams, and consider becoming a channel member if you want Discord access and awesome emotes, and I will catch you all next time.